now that the wiring harnesses are completed for the cars, recall there are 4 per car, the next step is to prepare the floor pans and the bodies for the body shop. I do that by installing the components into and onto the model, the floor pans and onto the body. I do that because the bodies are hand-laid fiberglass, and so you have variations in thicknesses from side to side, front to back of these shells. So the first thing I do, you see this red paint's a texturizing paint that I spray black afterwards for the underside of the car. You'll see that I trim the floor pan all the way around, the side and back here. These couple models here I've got out, you'll see the same thing. I clean it up later, but I trim this so that the body fits on the cars. They have to fit such that the exhaust tips will come out the right space, right place rather, on the models. So I start with that. Then I go ahead and I affix the jambs here and get them situated such that I've accounted for the thickness and variation of the doors, and I also account for the thickness for the paint and primer that the body shop's going to put on. Once I'm satisfied that I've got it so that the hinge surface is closed neatly and I get the right look once they close, no binding and all that, then I mark the places for the parts that are temporarily installed. For example, I temporarily install the dashboard, armrest, seats, brake and clutch pedals, right? All these I put in place and mark where they go. Even the parking brake, all this stuff. Some of these parts, for example, are SLA prints. This is because it is 3D print, it's easy to make this functional. Once you get it designed, you can make this ashtray functional. Not real cool nowadays necessarily, but in the 60s, very much in vogue. SLA again allows for some detail that FDM printing doesn't allow for. And because it is 3D printed, for example, these wipers, they can be done in aluminum, gold, palladium, whatever you want. It gets prohibitive cost-wise. But all that stuff gets printed, processed, and I clean it up and put it in here. And once I get it marked, I take it all out. Here's the Bluetooth speaker rather for the car. And it goes here in the dash, obviously. And you access it through this little hole here to turn it off and on. And what I do, sometimes the Bluetooth speaker, right, you need to readjust or kind of reset it. And so this one has a bottom that you press to reset. A switch on the bottom. So what I do is I drill a hole through the bottom of this so that you can stick your pencil through it, access the bottom of that, and reset it if your speaker's not connecting. So all this stuff gets taken off. You see I've already put it on here to make sure it fits right. It does. Plugged in the engine. Everything's good to go. Once I get it all squared away, take it all off, and I send this out to the body shop with, for example, the door surrounds. You can see it's already been marked here where it goes, right? I epoxy this into place permanently, as well as the door frame. I take the mechanicals off. This gets epoxied into the body as this gets epoxied into the floor pan, because it's got to obviously get painted the same color as the car. And then I send that floor pan and those doors along with this to the shop. This gets painted black, and the body goes to them with the bucket lights. I just cover the LEDs up. I surface and paint this underside of the hood. It goes, of course, I permanently affix the body harness inside here. I add the trim pieces for the headliner and parts that need to be painted by the shop as well. I make sure that these holes, which are actually put in through a fixture at the shop, make sure that the parts that go in here get fitted and trimmed up right. Send it off. I still have to line up this bezel and make sure I mark the hole and drill a hole for the parking lights. But I do all that and send it off in hopes that once I do it and set it up right, that when it comes back to me, I can much more easily put this together like I did the prototype with without scratching it up. So that's that.